Coffee Dave here. This is Whack-A-Mole number 47, starting off with coffee, of course, and at Mazzy's Palace with the Ranchillo single group, commercial, and the Mazzy grinder, or as I like to I don't know why I keep calling it a Rio. Rio's the bigger version of it, but
they're actually called
Mazers,
mini Mazer.
Mini Mazer.
So it's kind of a coincidence that Mazzy uses a Mazer. It's amazing.
It is
amazing.
It's an amazing kind of scenario that we can all be grateful for. Not to mention Mazzy's own hand-picked varieties of a darker roast coffee, not the hipster roast.
Now let me tell you about that, because Dave has never tasted these beans. I get these occasionally. I don't do them all the time because I'm not that snooty, but well, I am snooty about my coffee. These are Grafeo beans. Grafeo are from San Francisco, old school Italian beans. They started in the 60s in San Francisco. North Beach was the Italian district of San Francisco. And Grafeo only makes a dark and a light roast plus a dark, a light roast plus a decaf.
And knocking in here, making a mess. Look at that. Make it like that.
And so the hipsters like these light roasts, like Blue Bottle in San Francisco and 4 Barrel and everything.
But we're going for the solid, darker roast.
Tighter. Yeah.
Oh.
Okay.
Oh, it's a pulling slow.
Yes, and sometimes it doesn't do both sides right away. It's weird. It's got a little issue here.
We're working with espresso. So
you can make it a single there, and we'll make another one.
I kind of like that idea. Let's let it run old school Italian style, where you let it just go and go. Which again, doesn't always bear well with certain crowds. Certainly not the 17 to 23 seconds. That is, or is it 18 to 23? Excuse me. Oh, we got a little bit more on the side there.
Now these espresso cups,
Ready?
espresso macchiato cups. These are really interesting. Illy Cafe. Ooh. Illy Cafe does you can make macchiatos?
I'm gonna make macchiatos.
Okay, there's the things are there.
Let me get this.
Illy Cafe makes these editions, artist editions, and this was an artist edition from the early 2000s. 2000.
Look at that pocket.
These were designed by Francis Coppola, the filmmaker. So these are Francis Coppola design.
You gotta love Francis.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, I do.
Okay. What we're doing here.
Yeah. All right, so we got that.
We haven't hit the record room yet.
I know we're still figuring out this whole deal. I'm just gonna go like this. I said I was gonna make them a bit on the super dry side, but it looks like I might just make them a little bit more latte-ish. I'll a spoon out of here, do a little dollop on the foam. See, I wasn't cool enough to be able to roll it over the way other people do. The real pros do that, and the latte art, of course, which I also. Oh, practice. You know what they say? Those people are just that good. You can't always be that good.
Cappuccino for Mazzy at the desk.
Coming up. Here we go. I'm just going to do this. Again, pour it through the top.
You get another shot, or is that?
Let's do one more.
Another shot.
Yeah.
Do another shot.
Yeah. Can't stop at just one.
Did it?
It could be kind of strong, but that's okay. Oh, do the grind. Oh, do it. Here we go. It's on, and it's going. I don't have to hold it there. I'm going to keep it in here. Keep it on the warm side. We get a better shot, but super fine grind we've got going. We could spend probably the next 20 minutes trying to get the grind perfect on this, but as you know, we still have to go downstairs because there's more to be done, and we need our coffee. We can't wait 20 minutes. I've already had a cup earlier.
I did too.
Did you have a cup earlier?
Yeah, sort of. Yeah. I got up early this morning.
Yeah, we're all early risers. We're old now, so we have to get up as early as we can. I'm gonna save that. That's good. I think that's enough. Do we have enough in here? Oh yeah, we do. Yeah. So I'm just gonna keep dosing it like that. Whoops. Tap it a bit. I'm gonna do a little bit lighter.
What does that tapping on the side do?
Just knocks it into the center like that. And I'm making a mess. I'm pretending that I'm actually in a store, and I don't really I'm not really respecting your countertop. But that's okay. It's just coffee. Just putting it in. We got this.
No, actually, it's funny. In my machine, I pack it usually tighter because it tends to. Maybe that's why it's going so fast. But maybe that's okay.
Well, I got him. I did the font.
I'm getting some leakage there, like male leakage.
The grind, some male leakage coming through the gasket. We're gonna work it.
Yeah, see,
some kind of gasket. It's slow. It's definitely slow. We're suffering here a little bit, but
yeah, we're not going to get into that right now.
Yeah.
So. 'Cause we want to get to records. We want to get to whack. You know,
we're just going to pull it strong.
I suppose I could have said people could fast forward if they didn't want to, but you know, this is entertainment.
Well, and you got to see, this is reality. You know, you get to see the, you know, beautiful presentation out in public, you know, and there's people that can do no wrong, but this is just me coming in, just trying to do a basic shot. And look, yeah, we're doing it. It's slow. It's going to be powerful, but, you know, boom. I'm going to cut it short. We're going to pretend like it's a really long macchiato. I'm going to do it again. Pour that in there. Pour that in there.
Okay.
Boom. That'll just get our puck out of here. We don't want to leave that in there, right? Ooh,
right.
That one came out a little bit more. But that's okay. Look at that. We got the group head coming out. No spraying on the screen. Look at that nice even flow. Keeping your screens clean.
Yeah, I do.
It's the way to go, man. There we go. But wait, first, I want to just go like this and do this little run it back and forth. Maybe like grab this right here. We don't want to spend too much time, I know, but we don't want to leave a mess. I don't want to leave a mess. I want to be respectful of Mazzy's palace.
Okay, we're gonna dissolve into getting our coffee downstairs now. Thank you, Dave.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Coffee Dave.
Oh, anytime. I'm here to help, as they say. Here to help.
It's a beautiful thing. Okay, here we go, down to the record room.
Coffee in hand. Careful, careful. Slow. What is the banister for? Holding coffee. Oh yeah, it's getting better sip by sip.
Whack-a-mole number 47.
Number 47.
Did I just get... Yeah, a couple months ago.
Okay.
They reissued those on...
Music on vinyl.
Yeah, music on vinyl.
I've ordered one.
Okay, Whack-a-mole. Now, usually I do the random picks, but when I have a guest, we just pull records and showcase them. So these are not random. In one of the videos, Vinyl Richie said, "I don't know that Mazzy. I think he pulls. I think it's rigged. I think it's rigged.
I think it's easy like Sunday morning.
I think the thing's rigged. It's not rigged. I actually do random unless I have a guest. But I'm going to show these, this band because Omaha Introvert Hannah got a Beach House album, is into Beach House, or at least trying to get into them. I'm just going to show some that I like. I only have four. Only four, that's a lot. Beach House Depression Cherry. Moody, kind of in the realm of Mazzy's Star. A little shoegazy, maybe, I don't know. But more on the mood side, ethereal. I saw them live once in West Seattle on the Alki Beach. There was a, was it the 25th? Is it 25 years? Whatever the big anniversary was for Sub Pop Records. And they had a lot of Sub Pop artists playing live. Mudhoney, Beach House, I forgot who else, playing live out there. So that's one.
That was in the top of the Space Needle, was it?
No, that was a different thing. Thank Your Lucky Stars on Sub Pop. This is 2015. This is a good one too. I think it's these, unless I'm wrong here, these two came out like a few months apart. So it was a really kind of great double header. This is when I really kind of got into them. I only got into them, say, 4 years ago, when I saw them after that. So Thank Your Lucky Stars, and yeah, they both came out 2015, just months apart. So it was like a double header thing for them. This is a B-side record that came out, I believe, in 16. It's a lot of B-sides. I don't know about extra tracks. It's hard to show something when it's so dark and you have nothing to see. But it's like a dark dot. Focus on the dot.
I can see
Focus on the dot.
You'll see abstract images. Maybe you'll see this. I found one.
Ooh, see, we're talking to the Northwest bands here. And lastly, number 7, Beach House number 7. This is kind of a cool record.
And I have not heard that album. It's good.
2018, this is last year. Beach House 7.
And this one, being the reissue on Music on Vinyl, another fine label for reissuing, but love the Kozik cover, of course. Great album.
What do you know about the Melvins?
High budget, their first big label, off of Boner Records, where they did,
Boner Records? Was that a label? Boner Records?
San Francisco, yeah. Boner Records, and then they made the big time jump.
I never knew about Boner Records in San Francisco.
Yeah, that's the Melvins for you. They made the jump, but they always said that, the fans think that other, Gluey Porch treatments, Ozma, all that, everybody Bullhead, of course, people that love it, but this album was really sort of awesome because it was their first big studio Atlantic signing, and they really took it for everything it was worth. They really made, the production on it is incredible, but overall it's a classic. It's a stunning album.
It is good
in every way.
I did see them in San Francisco. I didn't know much about them, but I saw them play in the Mission. Was it the Elbow Room? I forgot where I saw them.
Back in the 80s, didn't you? In the early 90s?
Late 80s, early 90s.
Yeah.
I can't remember. It was pre-Kid or post-Kid. My son was born in 1990, so I was going to see tons of shows in the 80s, and then for a while I saw nothing in the very early 90s because you have a kid and life happens. Life is what happens to you while you're busy making other plans, as John Lennon once
You're preoccupied with other priorities.
Exactly. And now the kid's out of the house, I'm back into it. That's where, you got disposable income again. You're not paying for all this soccer shit. Not that my kid was into soccer shit, but whatever you pay for kid stuff,
Yeah, he came full circle.
He's out there in the working world, and there we go. So we get sort of Northwest. Okay.
Speaking of Northwest, and this is one that was turned on to me by another switched on musicologist who I shall not name because you don't know him, but nonetheless, this is another Sub Pop issue, local, and
Lealook. Here's a good thing. Australian duo. I saw them at the Tractor Tavern about 4 months ago. This is the album. The same gentleman, our turntable guru, as I call him, turned us on to this, and I fell in love with this record. Because I showed. I'm a big fan, and I showcased their last record. They have 3 albums out, and they're gorgeous. Great harmonies, easygoing, but smart music. And a little extra little tidbit: the brand new, wonderful postmortem. What do you call it after you're dead when an album comes out?
Postmortem.
Postmortem. That's like a dead body. Okay. Anyway, there's a new Leonard Cohen album that his son. Post-life. Adam. I was going to say Adam Schiff, not Adam Schiff. Adam Cohen, Leonard Cohen's son, put together from these tapes the final posthumous. That's what I'm thinking.
Posthumous.
Leonard Cohen album. It's one of the best of this year. I did showcase it a little bit. I haven't played anything from it on the YouTube. I don't know if I can, but beautiful record. And anyway, my point is, Mazzy, shorten the fucking point. Lealook sings on 1 or 2 tracks, background vocals.
Not like anything you'd expect from Sub Pop. Usually Sub Pop's always associated, with Nirvana, Mudhoney, all fantastic, of course, but, this is something that's more in their sort of folk department, which is, something that most people wouldn't associate them with. Of course,
it's so 50%. Good, it's so LU. Where did you find this?
It's somewhere in that area.
Somewhere in the L area.
In the L area, yeah.
It's so fucking complicated to find records here.
And he even alphabetizes everything. And
still can't
find anything.
That is kind of okay.
Does that kind of sound familiar?
It shows that that's screwy.
Yeah, we're...
okay, let me just, before we get there, this is the one I keep showcasing. I think everyone should own. Beautiful record, Lealook. It's not Lealook, it's Lealook. And this is their sophomore record,
More Than One.
Dear Hamlin.
Look at that.
3 records. And because of the turntable guru... Oh, get this one.
Okay. See?
Lealook.
I knew there was...
This would have been in my top records of 2019, this year, except it came out, I think, November or December of 2018, but I didn't get it till this year. But You can't. That doesn't count, right?
No. And,
I can't put it in 2019 because it came out late 2018.
oh, you might be able to. You might be able to.
Hey, I'm showing it now. I can't prorate it. I'm showing it now.
But is it out of print? Don't say it's out.
No,
of print.
it's not out of print.
Okay, good.
No. I mean, I don't think Sub Pop usually doesn't put it. They're pretty good.
Especially if it was late 2018 or as we say 2019. We're almost going into 2020 here, which is another reason to look at this man because, of course, he gives us the strength we need when we're not always feeling our best. I'm not saying we're not feeling our best right now. We are. We're doing
Talk
awesome.
about Lee
We're
Hazlewood.
awesome, but
Do you know
Lee Hazlewood, another bunch of reissues on Light in the Attic, another awesome Seattle label. This one though, I don't think I have this one, but there's a box set that they released, I believe, or it's like a 3-record set. Now I can't remember the name, of course, but anyway, can't go wrong with this. This guy's a true American kind of like legend, underappreciated.
A lot of people know Lee Hazlewood because of his co-productions and singing with Nancy Sinatra.
Well, there you go.
He did Going to Jackson. They did Jackson together. No, Jackson's Johnny Cash. Didn't they do a version of Jackson? Oh, Some Velvet Morning.
I'm leaving you to fill
Some
the
Velvet
gaps.
Morning. And this, okay, you got to get this one.
Know the gaps.
This is an amazing one. This is Lee Hazlewood.
Put him right here.
Lee Hazlewood and the lady, the cowboy and the lady. And it's Lee Hazlewood and Ann-Margret.
Ooh, don't have that one either.
Ann-Margret. And this is also on Light in the Attic, isn't it? Yeah, Light in the Attic. This came out in 2017. Of course, these are old recordings.
So kitschy.
But come on.
Kitschy.
Love Me a Redhead. I'm not talking about Lee Hazlewood. Ann-Margret.
You know
I just watched for the very first time. I had never seen the Cincinnati Kid, which is Paul Newman movie where he's this poker player. And
Hi,
it's
mate.
just-
Is he a ginger?
have you seen it?
No, I've not seen
Oh, it's a good rec. It's a 1966, 67. But when she walks in the room and she's in this, I mean, she just fills
She blows
the
the
frame.
trees down.
Yeah, and if you ever, you should Google right now. I want everyone to go into YouTube. You're in YouTube if you're watching this. Bye Bye Birdie Ann-Margret. The movie Bye Bye Birdie, which was based on a Broadway musical, and Ann-Margret's in it, and she's in the opening sequence. She does this dance sequence and sings Bye Bye Birdie.
Not to be confused with Bye Bye Blackbird.
No, not to be confused with that.
Standard.
But Ann-Margret singing Bye Bye Birdie, the opening credits from the movie. Really, really wonderful. And I think there was a parody version of that in the TV show Mad Men. They did a parody opening of that as well. So,
I just found a guilty pleasure.
hot album, great record.
Oh, here we go. Look at this, one of 1980's finest. Gaucho, Steely Dan. There's a few tracks on here that you'll always hear on the radio, but there's one in particular that you'll never hear on the radio because it's a little bit too saucy. Time Out of Mind. Great track.
Time Out of Mind. Isn't there another someone else that song?
Tonight
Oh, Dylan.
when I chase the dragon, and water may change to cherry wine, and the silver will turn to gold. Time out of mind. Put that in the old jukebox.
Okay,
All right.
well,
There you
the
go.
hits keep coming here at Mazzy's Whack-A-Mole number 47 from Live in the Air Age,
Fluid.
Bebop Deluxe. This is a 1977 release. Live, obviously the cover art is from the amazing motion picture Metropolis.
Giorgio Moroder.
Well, that's the late. Giorgio Moroder did a soundtrack in the 80s of a reissue of Metropolis where they did sort of a techno disco back thing. But this is a double record, and one of the records is lovely white, vanilla, stark white vinyl. Metropolis, promo copy, Bebop Deluxe 1977. Rock and roll with a... I want to always say they have a little bit of glam, but it's not really glam. It's just... What do you call this kind of rock and roll, like late, that 70s British, Help me now. What do you call it? We want to put everything in a box.
I keep thinking of New York Dolls, but that is not
no,
like
but
anything. But
it's nothing like the New York Dolls. No. But it's a rock record with flourishes. I haven't said flourishes in a while, and I think the digital gramophone out there, Greg. Not Greg. I'm sorry. Vinyl Rundown is Greg. Digital gramophone John with no H.
Wait, isn't that a different kind of fleur-de-lis?
Fleur-de-lis. Flourishes.
Oh, wait, flourishes, I'm sorry.
Flourishes. Not fluoride where you brush your teeth and put it in the water.
Hardens the enamel. Yeah, that's going to make you apathetic.
And we're all,
you won't vote. We all need to vote, right? I mean, because we've been, more than ever. And I think speaking of voting and which came first, the politic or the politician, we have J.J. Cale and Eric Clapton. And we all know. Do we all know? Well,
I don't think Coffee Dave knows. I did. He doesn't watch my videos because he's not into it very much. But I did a feature on J.J. Cale about 2 weeks ago where I showcased all his records, which you can still show it.
What the hell?
But no, but it's great. But I really talked about the connection, how he went to the mailbox every day and picked up his royalty check because of Eric Clapton, because of cocaine and After Midnight. And
let's be honest, Clapton would not be in his later stage career
if it wasn't for J.J. Cale.
There's no ways. Slow Hand would not be Slow Hand
without J.J. Cale.
No way. It ain't happening.
Totally right. You know, he was a different guitar player. I like Clapton, but he kind of was a sleepy but moody guitar player, and not in a bad way. But that whole Clapton is God guitar player.
He's not God.
Yeah, he wasn't that in the '70s, but he was still great.
Yeah, no, we're not. We won't diss Clapton here, but we have to.
Who are we?
To be honest.
Who are we to diss Clapton?
Yeah, what do I know?
What do you know?
I don't know anything.
Only you know and I know. Oh, okay.
Only you know and I know.
Speaking about only you know and I know.
Oh, Dave Mason.
Well,
is he in there?
Oh, right.
Are you in there, Dave?
Dave Mason is here.
Please come out of the cabinet, Dave.
It's funny how I thought about Dave Mason. I mean, he thought about Dave Mason, even though Dave Mason wrote the song. But I was thinking of Delaney and Bonnie, because Delaney and Bonnie went on tour, this album, Delaney and Bonnie and Friends on tour with Eric Clapton. Oh, Eric's back again.
Eric.
Promo copy, not for sale. Some say, I think it's a rumor, but the feet in the limo, some say is Bob Dylan. Do those look like Dylan's feet? This was when
Bob Dylan's
Eric Clapton, when he heard music from Big Pink, said, "Fuck Cream, that's not what I want. The kind of music with the band is right for me." Came to America, got hooked up with this kind of organic-y, kind of bluesy, soulful, white blues sound. Hooked up with, actually, Delaney Bramlett produced the first solo Eric Clapton record. He went on tour with Delaney and Bonnie and Friends, and Dave Mason was on part of the tour.
Timing is everything.
Exactly. George Harrison also.
It's another.
But just to show, I'm a fan. Apparently, Delaney Bramlett was the biggest fucking asshole in the world. If you read the liner notes on the reissue of Motel Shot.
Or if you want to be nice, just call them strong personality.
Strong personality, but he was a fucking asshole apparently. I didn't know him.
He had a big ego.
Great thing. They only had one sort of AM hit. And that's on this amazing album. Everyone should get this album. If you have to pick one album, Motel Shot, 1970, I believe, 70, 71. Never Ending Song of Love. It's got a very organic feeling. Some people, they kind of gave the illusion that this was recorded on the road in hotel rooms. When bands are on the road, they get back to hotel rooms, they do their beverages and accoutrements, and they play music and jam. It's got that kind of live sound, but it wasn't.
Sounds like a Jimmy Page trick.
But it wasn't. It was recorded apparently in L.A., in the L.A. Hollywood Hills, in Bruce Botnick's living room.
Oh,
Bruce Botnick, who engineered and worked on the Doors. Great record. There was a Kraft recording reissue that they put this cover on, which I don't like this cover as much, but this has an extra LP of outtakes. There's a CD version available of this. Oh, it's great. It's great. Oh, there we go. Really good. Really good. But in here, I think it's, what's his name? Because this was on Atco Records, and then he was on Elektra for a time. But
label trivia.
Yeah, Elektra. And Jacques, it's Jacques Holtzman, who the label head, or the owner of Elektra Records originally, wrote some scathing things about Bonnie. Excuse me, not Bonnie, Bramlett, Delaney. Long gone now. But anyway, Delaney and Bonnie and Friends.
But preserved on vinyl.
Preserved on vinyl. There's a movie, is it called Vanishing Point? What's that movie? There's a movie, the guy has to drive this car from Colorado to San Francisco to Berkeley in like 27 hours.
Doesn't that have Pink Floyd for the soundtrack?
No, that's the Antonioni film. That's the Zabriskie Point.
Another point.
Exactly.
Music and
but
light.
I think it's the one, and it's with Barry Levin? Not Barry Levin. Barry... Anyway, someone's going to write it down in the comments here. I know it.
Not Barry Goldwater.
But he's driving across country. I mean, the cops are after him. He's making this 27-hour to bring this car from, I think it's Colorado, Denver to the Bay Area, and stuff along the way. And out in the desert, or out somewhere in the desert, or out, Delaney and Bonnie are on a little stage playing music. That's my point. See, there's always a connection.
Early 70s or late 60s? The 70s adventure?
It could be very early 70s. It's like, it's that type of, those movies, and I talked about this on a few other things. I'm a big fan of late 60s, early 70s American movies that had these nebulous, not happy endings, like Midnight Cowboy, Easy Rider,
Omega Man.
Omega Man
didn't have a happy ending.
Right.
It. That's because Chuck Heston isn't really much of a happy ending.
Oh, you're on a first name, Chuck. Oh,
Chuck. Yeah.
Chuck Heston.
Not Charlie.
Charlton.
Not which he would maybe approve of this fine album.
Rip this Devo album out of my cold dead hands.
You'll take this out of my cold dead hands. It's a professional. It's a promotional. Well, you could say it's professional. I don't know if Charlton could read this right here, but it says provided with the hope that you will use this for in-store play. In-store play? I'm going to be using this for the rest of my life.
And this one came
rid of that.
It's a promo copy.
It's a beautiful copy.
Right? And look at this. What else is there?
I'm salivating from
Promo Devo. I saw Devo at the Mabuhay Gardens, the Fab Mab, the punk club in San Francisco. Oh, it is, yeah.
Get that for you.
And this came with a 45. So if you see it, see if it has the 45 inside.
Good luck, but I don't have the 45.
It's like finding posters and records, you know. Someone just showed a great copy of a record with that I love, and I don't have the poster anymore. And it was one of those things that I probably put it up in my room when I was a kid. No longer have the poster.
It's sort of the same tragedy as having I'm sorry, but I have to say this, but it reminded me too of the the strip and the Japanese pressings. If you somehow misplace that, and it's like you don't have that, but you still
Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Yeah. You're my only hope.
Yeah, right.
My only hope.
Okay, let's see. Where do we want to go now?
This is like this is a very, very, very large rabbit hole. It's a rabbit hole that I like. Oh look, combat rock.
It's kind of fun that you just like to sit
in there real fast.
I think it's fun when people want to sit and visit people showing records. I love it.
Oh,
it's fun.
It's the best.
It's the best.
It's the best.
As they say.
And again, this is true organization. Well, and I still can't get my head around my organization. Do I have an organization, or is it the organization, or is it just organization? I don't know. I'm gonna put that in.
Okay. Someone just showed some Blondie records. They're getting Blondie. I might as well show Blondie. I mean, we all know Blondie. You don't need me to show you Blondie, but these are my 70s pressings, private stock. The original was on private stock. Blondie. I saw them on their first tour, at least the first time they came to Bay Area. Ex-Offender, Blondie plastic letters.
We're talking the real New York, right?
I never saw them at CBGB's. I went to CBGB's a couple times.
In New York?
Yeah, the early 80s I went.
Yeah, I think the Ramones played there a lot.
Yeah,
too.
well they were one of the, yeah.
Yeah, there's like... Oh.
Plastic letters. Eat to the Beat.
What a band.
Eat to the Beat.
We love Blondie.
And of course, the 12-inch disco version of Heart of Glass. Instrumental version and non-instrumental version. So anybody remix this? Produced by Mike Chapman, who
Crystal
produced all their
Disco.
records. I think he produced at least all their main core of records. So, what am I missing? I know I'm missing something here, but these are probably the only ones I need because you can go crazy. Oh,
Well, here's one also, speaking of a little crazy, but wow. Electric Mud, Muddy Waters, McKinley
that's a
Morgan Field.
reissue, unfortunately, but not, you know.
Oh, but they're good though.
They're
I like,
good.
I'm all good with the reissues. They come with a booklet on the inside too, and it's having like it's Muddy Waters at a barber shop having like his hair done. Amazing insert, and this back cover. Love the back cover, and I love how they do everything as they spell out them not in minutes or seconds, but just in seconds. So every track is 254 seconds or 337 seconds. That aside, though, what an album. And then, of course, this is the companion to Howlin' Wolf Hates His Electric Guitar, which is also a chess issue as well. Two blues masters, like legends, coming out with albums they didn't really probably want to do, but I believe Pete Cozy plays on that. R.I.P. Pete Cozy, who later on played with Miles Davis on those live shows, Agartha and Pangea, when I grabbed them in my basement and brought the Four Men with Beards, which should be on Music on Vinyl. Don't get the Four Men on Beards. Bad label.
We don't like Four Men on Beards.
Yeah, we don't like the
Don't
Four
buy
Beards.
Four Men on Beers records.
Don't do it.
I got a couple, but
Don't do it.
if you can avoid them, avoid them. They're out of San Francisco too, and they're not, for some reason,
Yeah, they're just...
dubious.
I don't mean if you Four Beards people are tuning in. I'm just saying try to get a better pressing.
Dubious source material.
Yeah.
Barry Goldberg reunion, the whole Chicago blues thing. Barry Goldberg, organ player, played some guitar, but you know, Harvey Mandel, Charlie Musselwhite, Skippy Diamond, Eddie Goldberg.
It's a mouthful.
Yeah, exactly. So the Chicago blues thing, the Barry Goldberg reunion. There's no hole in my soul. Did you know that? There is no hole
There's no hole in
in
soul.
my soul.
Yeah, I believe that.
Barry Goldberg, street man. You don't hear about Barry Goldberg. You hear about the Blues Project. You hear about Electric Flag. You hear about Paul Butterfield Blues Band. That kind of in that same 60s genre. They were really big at the dance halls, like the Fillmore and the Winterland, and Fillmore East, and the clubs. They were on the circuit. Obviously, Paul Butterfield Blues Band played a Woodstock. This is my favorite title, and I kind of refer to Greg Vinyl Rundown and me if we're ever going to jam. He's a good guitar player. I'm a shitty guitar player, but Barry Goldberg and
Don't have any of that.
it's called Two Jews Blues. Two Jews Blues. Dave is not a Jew, so we're not. This is like one Jew blues
I'm
and
a Catholic child.
one Jew blue and a Catholic.
But a Reformed Catholic.
And who is? And it's Barry Goldberg and it's it has all these other people like Eddie Ho, Charlie Musselwhite again, Harvey Mandel, the great Harvey Mandel. His album, Christopher Redundum, what is it? I forget the name of it. Great record.
Wasn't Harvey Mandel a stand-up comedian? The guy who blew up into the glove. Remember that guy on stage?
That's.
He's on, I think he was in St. Elsewhere too. The hospital.
Oh,
series.
that's no, that's Mandel shaved his head. Yeah.
Yeah.
David Hood is on here. Dwayne Allman.
Oh, Allman.
You know, really good. So these are my Goldberg records. And interesting enough, my grandmother's maiden name is Goldberg. So maybe.
What do you know?
Maybe there's a connection.
A distant relation?
Goldberg. I've wanted to do it. Probably it might be a little. I want to do a Jewish artist video sometimes. I don't know why bother.
Goldbergs
Doing a
some
Jewish
fun
comedian one would be
with
because it
good
would be
old
like every
times.
comedian except Richard Pryor. I'm kidding. Come on. But you can have Bob Dylan, and you can have Leonard Cohen, you can have the Goldbergs, and you can have.
It's like a show made, like a fantasy show of your choosing, made in wherever you want it to be, the universe. We won't call it heaven because, you know, there's Reformed Catholics, there's the two Jews, there's everybody. We make fun of them all.
These are cool records. Golden Palominos. Golden Palomino was sort of a project that
Celluloid.
Anton Fear put together. Anton Fear is a percussion player and a drummer that did these fusion type of thing. Part of the Lower East Side, late 80s.
Make note of those.
Yeah. And they're all different artists. I think Bill Laswell, the great Bill Laswell, also did drums and percussion. Obviously, Bill Laswell worked on producing Pill, Public Image Limited, Johnny Rotten, Johnny Lydon.
And Basslines, he did Basslines,
Right.
which was a fine album from like 1984, 85, I believe, on celluloid too. A lot of Compass Greenpoint studio action.
So this is Blast of Silence, Golden Palominos, and just the one called. These are on Celluloid Records, which I think is Anton. I think it was a private label, but then distributed by someone else.
I think it was Warner actually, or it's like Atlanta, or it's like Nonesuch maybe. It's like Nonesuch.
Well, I don't know. But look at all these like people. Every different people. Matthew Sweet sings on a song here. Sid Straw. Bernie Worrell on Hammond organ. Jack Bruce sings on a track. You know, the dead Jack Cream artist.
I have perfect pitch. Perfect pitch. That's what he said. He's got perfect pitch.
I never. T-Bone Burnett.
Very adamant about his pitch.
Carla Bly. Carla Bly's on here, man. Jazzy. Mazzy's getting
Anton
Spear.
jazzy.
Now on this one, you got Bill Laswell, Sid Straw, Michael Stipe on vocals on a track. Michael Stipe is on.
Guy.
Oh, Michael Stipe sings on 3 songs.
Hey, REM guy.
Jackson Bruce. Not Jackson. If Jackson Brown married Jack Bruce, he'd be Jackson Bruce. Jackson Bruce sings on a track. Johnny Lydon sings on a track on this record. Arto Lindsay. Arto was married to Flora Purim. And Sid Straw. So, Bill Laswell again. Bill Laswell's all over this stuff. I love his bombastic. If you've ever heard African Bombata with Johnny Lydon, what's that song called? African Bombata, Time something.
I'm flummoxed.
I love that.
I just kept thinking of Horses and Trees, but that's Ginger Baker. That's another celluloid release, much different than this one right here. This is kind of just a total departure. Wow, Little Queen, my heart.
Seattle again.
Another Seattle. Yeah, another Seattle. Yeah, and the Vancouver connection. I think Mushroom Records, you know? Well, this is CBS, but
Barracuda.
Barracuda.
That's like the greatest.
Oh yeah.
That's to me. Forget like any Led Zeppelin riff and Stairway to Heaven. Barracuda is it. That's the riff that I should learn on a guitar. I don't know why. No, not that anyone cares, but I love Barracuda.
Nancy Wilson. Whew.
I remember we got a promo copy when the first Hard album was an independent on Mushroom Records. Is that it? It came in our store as a promo. We kept playing that. All of a sudden, that record got huge. Yeah. I don't even have it anymore.
It's a great album.
It is a good album. I don't have it, but I should have it.
If you're a Northwesterner and you love Seattle rock from back in the day, or not, even if you're from somewhere else, Heart, you know, and they made it too. They really went through some ups and downs, didn't they?
Yep.
You know, and they came out the other side.
Okay, let's each pick maybe 2 or 3 more albums, and this is going to be a long one today, but you know, you can watch it in segments. You could put it on hold here, you know, go out to lunch.
Or when you're laying down in bed and you need to fall asleep.
It doesn't put you to sleep at night. That's what I do. There's certain videos. I have my little iPad propped up, and if I'm in the mood, I'll put it on and I may fall asleep. I'm not falling asleep when I'm playing your video, but when I'm playing someone else's video. But sometimes I fall asleep on. I don't watch my own videos except to make sure I didn't totally screw up.
Yeah, it's like passive editing, your own stuff. But I don't know if you don't edit this one out though. If you do, good old Fleetwood Mac Tusk, 1980, like 1980. But I like this album too because I think that although hardcore Fleetwood Mac fans always think the Lindsey Buckingham stuff is no good, I would disagree. And I think this is one of their best albums, even though it's kind of late. You know, sure there's Rumors, sure there's a self-titled album, sure there's like, I don't know, whatever some of the later ones and all that. Just stick with this one. You can't go wrong if you're in the mood. All right.
And from Fleetwood Mac, we go to 1979 and 1981, the post-punk period of 2 records that I have. One's a promo copy, I believe. Maybe not.
I love promo copies.
Yeah, no, not. But anyway, Warner Brothers Records, beautiful, pristine copies of the Gang of Four. Gang of Four had a really kind of heavy bass sound. Do you know them? Solid Gold and Entertainment, Gang of Four. UK band. Hope they keep down the price of gas. On the back of that.
Is that a song?
No, is that a song?
Is it?
No, this is the line a cheeseburger. I remember playing that a lot.
Well, well. Oh yeah, there you go. You're still. Ooh.
Wait, do you know Gang of Four?
Oh yeah, I have this album, but I do not have that album. I know of that album. Yeah.
I need my
Quirky.
art. Yep.
This one though, this is gonna be my last one to end it on this okay. Tuesday, for me. Radiohead. I mean, I know OK Computer and everything else, and Thomas York, right? Is it Tom York? Mr. York?
Tom York?
Yeah, it's, he's got legendary status with some people. But I don't know, I remember this from a long time ago, and this is what got this amateur guy listening to these guys. I still really like this album a lot. It's a very, very awesome, nice album.
Okay, I'm going to do one more round here, and then I'm going to call it a day too. Come on, Mazzy.
Looking.
Come on, tick-tock.
Clock's ticking.
Tick-tock.
Time.
This is where when you want to put a record on it, and you can't think of
timing is
anything.
Everything. Or is it? Yeah, it is. In music, it is. You want to be in time. Are you going 4/4? Are you going? Are you trying a different time signature? I know you can do it. We can do it.
Come on, one more, Mazzy.
You can do it.
Oh, damn.
I know that your eyelids are getting heavy. You're laying in bed saying, "I need to go to sleep. It's late. It's past my normal time. I need to go to sleep." What will put me in trance?
Well, I'm going to go with.
I'm just looking.
Okay, you can look.
I'm mesmerized.
Okay.
Can't come.
I'm a big fan of conceptual art and the whole 80s New York art scene, late 70s into the early 80s. And I remember getting a 45, which I still have, this independent single. And I was gobsmacked. And it was, Oh, Superman, Laurie Anderson.
Ooh.
That 7-minute, I think it's like a 7 or 8 minute song. But Big Science, she got picked up by Warner Brothers. Oh, Superman's on here, let X equal X. You probably know her. She did this looping electric violin,
Eclectic.
vocals. She did a lot of the stuff you can easily do now on an iMac or a Mac Pro that you couldn't do at the time. Really
She's a pioneer.
Adventurous, pioneer definitely. She had like audio tape on her violin bow, and would go into different kind of little electronic doodads that I don't know anything about. But I saw her right when she did a couple of musical performance art bits when she came to the Kabuki Theater in San Francisco, which is now a movie theater. But they had a venue.
When she was up here long time ago, I think she played it. She was at the UW, University of Washington.
And then this is Mr. Heartbreak, her second record. Adrian Blue plays on here. Bill Laswell again. We got that whole New York scene going on there. Peter Gabriel sings with her on a track. Really good. Some of you may or may not know, in the last 10 years or so of his life, she was married to Lou Reed.
Where's David Byrne?
Laurie Anderson, live, United States. This is a 4-record set. Live performance art that's just really, really beautiful. And there is a recording that came out from her. She had a performance that I think it was the night or two or the couple days after 9/11, and she did a copy of a song of Live that week of Oh, Superman, and there's a series where These Are the Planes, Where Are the Planes, Here Come the Planes, and it was apparently pretty eerie to her in the audience when she sang about Here Come the Planes, American planes, made in America.
Has she done anything recently since the...
She's done a couple...
surveillance state was established?
Since the what?
Surveillance state, 9/11.
Well, she has a new album out, which I don't have, a with her and Kronos Quartet. Angels... Strange Angels promo copy. She has a documentary, Something Dog and Records. I mean, this is a great record. This is also a live record, Home of the Brave. Soundtrack to a video movie of her performance, a live performance of her, which is highly recommended. This is again from the late 80s, 1986. I love this record a lot. She gets melodic. It's I want to say avant-garde, but it's almost more commercial than traditional avant-garde stuff. But she's definitely a pioneer on the New York art scene of the 80s into the 90s, but mostly the 80s when she was coming of age as an artist. Performance artist, musical performance artist. So
Worthy of adding to the list.
yeah, I just love Laurie Anderson. I try to pick up everything. I have a lot more on compact disc.
She's amazing.
Which I'm not going to show right now, but I think that's it. Dave?
Yeah,
Coffee
are we
just
gonna commencing the
So, thanks, Coffee Dave.
Thank you, Massey. Yeah, thank you, Whack-A-Mole Game. Thank you, Whack-A-Mole number 47. Knocking them in. They keep popping up. We'll just keep going until the numbers don't end. That could be...
Have a happy holiday,
Yeah,
and
happy
Mazzy
holidays.
loves you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Love you guys too. Take care.
Hello, Seattle!
Hello, Seattle!